Joe Burrow had a great season, with the all-time best season, I believe, in college football. But Tua has had a better career with a larger body of work. And when I look at it, okay, what happened in 2018? So are we just going to disregard that? No. Joe Brady came in. They had 4 stud wide receivers. They had a running back that's probably going to go somewhere second, maybe early third round. They had the nation's best offensive line. Now, when we look at Tua and just the last 2 years, Skip, do you know Tua's had 2 of the top 8 QBR seasons in the last 15 years? In 2018, he was 90, which ranked second to Kyler Murray. Last year was 91st. He was number 1. As great a statistical season as Joe Burrow had, Tua had a higher QBR. Skip, you love QBR. That's your stat. You hang everything on QBR, and Tua's own was higher. Look, I'm not taking anything away from Joe Burrow because I've said it, Skip, and I said it at the time. I believe it's the greatest college football season that we've ever witnessed. But it was one season. Is that the real Joe Burrow, or was this an anomaly? Now, 2018 happened. He was 31st in QBR. He had just as many interceptions as touchdowns. But now we're going to just disregard that. Look at what Tua has done. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Joe Burrow is 5 years college, is 5 years in college. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, Tua's coming out after his 3rd year. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Jenny and Skip, Tua went back and played with Waddle, played with Devontae Smith behind that offensive line. Do you think he put up pretty good numbers? You think he'd be okay? Absolutely. So this notion that Joe Burrow is just like leaps and bounds better than Tua, I just don't see it. Because I'm looking at the entire body of work, not just one great statistical season. I'm looking at 2017, 2018, and 2019. So if you factor all that in, I'm still taking Tua ahead of Burrow.
Shannon Sharpe, if Tua did go back for yet another year at Alabama, you know and I know he would get hurt again. And I'm knocking on wood for him because I don't like to wish this upon anybody. But Tua is simply the most injured, good quarterback I can ever remember in all my years of watching college football. He's had a wider variety of injuries than any quarterback I can ever remember. And we don't have time for me to list the litany of injuries. We all know how bad it got for him, going from concussions all the way down to 2 ankle surgeries and then a hip surgery that was career-threatening. The odds are, if you get hurt in college as much as Tua got hurt, he's just going to get hurt in pro football, and he would have gotten hurt if he'd gone back to Alabama again. I don't care how much you protect him. One little hit, he's brittle. He's just a quarterback who can't stay healthy, who can't avoid injury. So let's leave that be, and let's go back to the Todd McShay ESPN stat in question here. This is the one Todd McShay says he usually hangs his hat on in evaluating quarterbacks. It's what's your QBR under pressure, not under blitz pressure. We're talking about just straight 4-man or sometimes 3-man rush pressure. If your protection breaks down unexpectedly, it's not a blitzer coming. If somebody can't hold their block and you get a pass rusher in your face, a defensive lineman in your face, what is your QBR under pressure? Joe Burrow shattered the all-time record, and they only keep this stat back to 2011, so it's been 9 years worth of numbers. And yet, in the 9 years, Tua's QBR actually ranks from last year against pressure pretty great. It was 44. Burrow's was 82.6. They've never seen anything like Burrow's stat against pressure, his QBR against breakdown against the pass rush. 82.6 to Tua's 44.1, which all-time ranks pretty high because since this stat was kept, only Sam Darnold has gone above 56. And if we look back at my homeboy when he was at Texas Tech in his last year, against pressure, his QBR was 32.9, so it wasn't very good. Andrew Luck's his last year at Stanford was 23.7 QBR against pressure. It was horrible. That was one reason I told you I did not love Luck coming out. And I thought RG3 would be better, and he was better for 1 year until he got hurt and he lost his way. But the point is that you can't argue with any of these numbers. And it wasn't like for 2 games or 4 games or 6 games. It was the whole year. Joe Burrow got on a roll in which he didn't miss a pass the whole year. He didn't miss one at Austin against Texas. He didn't miss one at Tuscaloosa against Alabama. And then he goes on a 3-game binge down the stretch of SEC championship game, national semifinals, and finals. And he goes 16 touchdowns to 0 interceptions in those 3 games with a QBR of 98. It was just extraordinary. I don't know what else you need to see that performance over a whole span of 1 year versus an injured quarterback. It's a no contest.
Skip, how long you say they've been keeping that stat since 2011?
Yeah.
Oh, so if they've been keeping it since 2011, 2018 would also fall up under that time frame. Can you tell me what Joe Burrow's stat was under pressure in 2018? Because I'd be interested to know. Oh, you see,
I don't know.
When you want to make the argument to support, exactly, because you know why? Because it would go against the argument that he's better than Tua. Skip, 1 year? I tell you what, Keely Smith, Joey Harrington had 1 year. How'd that work out for you? Jamarcus Russell had 1 year. How'd that work out for you?
Look it up. Go look it up.
Russell.
Go look up
whether
I liked or didn't like them. Yeah.
Skip, I get all that, but I'm just saying. I'm listening. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay. So the point is, it wasn't just for 6 games. He didn't just get hot down the stretch. He was playing with a very good team, but he was playing against very good teams in Georgia and Oklahoma's offense that he was going to have to keep up with. And then Clemson, obviously, in the championship game, he destroyed all 3 of them. If you look at the tape, and I'm just a watch the TV guy, my eye test on this young man said yes, 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 because I couldn't find a no. He's much bigger than Tua. He's almost 6'4". Tua's 6 feet tall. He's, to me, at least as athletic as Tua, because once Joe Burrow takes off, he can really run with it. He's a tougher kid. He's obviously more durable than Tua, and he's got a swagger to him. He's got a good arrogance about him that I always love in a quarterback, because I told you the first time I noticed him at the end of the game at Texas, he's over on the sideline pointing at UT fans up in the stands. I got you, and I got you, and I put you in your place. And then in the national championship game, he's running to the sideline in the 4th quarter saying, size me up, for my ring. Whoa. Yeah. I love that attitude because he kept backing it up. He checked every box down the line for me, and you're going to have to give this one up because he is universally proclaimed the best pick in the draft, and Cincinnati would be foolish to give up that pick.
But Skip, all I'm saying is that we get an opportunity to evaluate Tua of 2017, partial 2017, all of 2018, 2019. But all people want to do is evaluate Joe Burrow is on his historic great season in 2019. Nobody wants to talk about 2018. Well, Skip, you better look at this in its totality, because if you just base a guy off, if you just look at a guy at his greatest moment, well, you're setting yourself up for failure, because in 2018, his QBR was 69, which was 31st, and he went from 31st to 2nd. Tua went from 2nd to 1st. So he didn't get worse, he got better. And as great a season as Joe Burrow had, Skip, one more point. As great a season as Joe Burrow had, he and Tua had the same number of touchdowns over 2018 and 2019, and Tua had fewer interceptions. As a historically great season as he had in 2019, he and Tua numbers are very comparable, minus the interceptions.
Shannon, Joe Burrow went to a program that had a prehistoric mindset when it came to offense. It was a run-based offense, and he had nobody to help him open it up and send 5 receivers out into the pattern until they went and got a bottom-rung assistant for the New Orleans Saints named Joe Brady, who came in and said, why don't you just let him throw it? Why don't we spread it out and throw it to our receivers? And I agree, they had stud receivers, but Tua had studder receivers. He had 4 potential first-round receivers, 2 who will go this year, 2 who could go next year in the first round. He had a track team of not only speed, but route running capability. So don't go there either. In the end, I like Joe Burrow so much that, again, you know how much I like Dak Prescott. Dak is sideways. He's at an impasse over his contract. If you told me that the Bengals would take Dak Prescott right now and let Dallas take Joe Burrow #1 overall, I would do that. I would take Joe Burrow and just start over with Joe because I believe in him enough that he could be at least as good as Dak, maybe even a little better as a thrower of the football. And I'm hoping Dak and Jerry figure it out, but I'm trying to underline to you how much I believe in Joe Burrow as the first overall pick.
Skip, you talk about Joe Burrow went to a prehistoric franchise in LSU. What the hell is St. Nick known for? Running the football and playing defense. It was Tua that forced him to expand his offense instead of going fullback, tailback, to go 4 wides, to go 3 wides and a running back. That was Tua that forced him to do that. And there's a reason why he's never had a quarterback, go higher than the 3rd round? Come on, Skip. Tua changed Alabama. We don't look at Alabama the same.
Shannon, I love him, but you know and I know it's going to be very difficult for Tua to stay healthy in pro football. That's period, end of story.
But that's another argument, Skip. This is about ability. They're trying to say that that Burrow is just leaps and bounds, and I don't see it. Staying healthy, yes, but just ability? No, I don't see that. I don't see the vast difference that everybody else sees.
I will agree to disagree.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.